Yeah. Good morning, students. So welcome to today's paper discussion by ARK Reflections IAS. So just we'll go through the main important headlines of the day. Bihar has new CM, and the Vaishali wins the women's candidates title. This is the very important news, as UPSC is also focusing on the chess and other sports. Like Vaishali wins the women's candidates title, because when the woman then Vaishali wins the women's candidate title, any winner who wins the women's candidate title, the door to compete with the world chess champion is open. So only the so we'll also discuss about, because she is the first Indian woman to win this championship. Our next important headlines: state seats will rise 50%. As we see that the next upcoming elections, the Lok Sabha number of seats from 543, it is increasing into the full capacity 850 of the Lok Sabha. So usually the southern states has a more fears, because they have the small number of population as comparing to the northern states. So they have the fears. So that's why they are having kind of a protest that south states should not decrease their present existing share. So whatever the share they are maintaining in the Lok Sabha seats at present, so that share should not be decreased. That is their main point of argument. So next, Iran says the ceasefire is at risk, threatens to close the Red Sea traffic. Again, as from the US President Trump, he again said in next 2 days, there will be the talks with Iran will be open. So again, the next set of talks between US and Iran is going to happen in Pakistan, and the Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir, so he is coordinating, so he visited the Iran and all. And next important article, yeah, it's good. Like University of London, is it opening its campus in capital? Yeah, in Hyderabad there is new foreign university campus is coming. The University of London campus is coming into Hyderabad. So, and the next important news, there are some good editorials for this day. So we look into the main editorials. Like one is like women's reservation and delimitation should be dealing. This is written by Brunda Karat. She is the senior communist leader, so very important communist leader. So Sri Brunda Karat ji, she wrote this article, women's reservation and delimitation should be dealing, but it's kind of a political article. So but we'll discuss the other articles. And the next article was implications for increasing the size of the Lok Sabha. So now the size is getting increased from 543 to 850. So what is its implication is discussed in this article. We'll going to discuss that. And next, we'll also discuss about the placing women at the core of democracy. So with the extension of this Lok Sabha seats, as well as they are placing the implementation of Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam, which means 33% reservation for women in the Lok Sabha, along with the state assemblies and also Delhi Assembly. And next important articles, so the elections and other important article. Yeah, this is very important article. Amazon signs the 11.557 billion deal for the satellite firm Global Star. So just we know that the Starlink, which is providing the, which is now it is a major player in providing the satellite based internet. So now the Amazon is also entering into that in that era. So they bought the Global Star, which is a satellite telecommunications technology company. So they bought, and they want to make the similar kind of a system like the Starlink, the Amazon. So that the name of that one was Project Kuiper. So we will also discuss that. And the next important articles, so she meets, yeah. So Trump asking the China to not give weapons to the Iran. So as the war is going on, and we don't know whether the talks will succeed or fail. So even if it fails, the war will continue. So the Trump is asking China to not give more weapons to the Iran. And the next, Next important article. Yeah, this is very, very important article. As from the science, there is new brain-inspired memoristors. Maybe the word is very unique. So the memoristors. So it is the combination of memory plus resistors. It's a very new technology which is going to come. So exactly mimicking the how our brain processes. Okay. So we'll also discuss that. And the other important thing we'll discuss about the. So there is some important, so why is the Strait of Hormuz is critical to the global energy flows. So this is also very important. And what are the similar type of straits which are very important for the global trade. So it is given. So we'll also discuss that. So yeah, we'll discuss each one of the article. So welcome to the detailed discussion. So first article, implications for increasing the size of Lok Sabha. What is happening here? Here, the size of Lok Sabha is going to increasing. So what is the present size? The present size of Lok Sabha is 543. And with the, now, it was increasing into the full strength 850. So it is almost, what is the percentage of rise? It is more than 56%. It is getting increased. In this 850, so their reservation for 33% of for women, nearly 285 seats. 285. They are increasing the present number from 543 to 850. That is around, so more than 300% rise. Sorry, more than 300 seats are increasing. In that 300 seats, minimum 285 seats, who will get? Women will get. And the implications. What are the implications? Now, we'll see the implications. Implications of rise. So the main implications is, as per the new bill, the 131st bill, which is in the draft phase. So if that bill as it is increasing, especially the north states like UP and Bihar is going to get more number of seats, and southern states, especially Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they are going to see the dip in their percentage of seats. So this is one of the important implications. We'll see how the government going to solve this issue. So the southern states will get the, especially the Tamil Nadu and Kerala will get the less number of seats, and UP and Bihar will get the more number of seats. And also, so what will happen if the number is increasing from 543 to 850? So again, we have the 91st Amendment, right? What is the 91st Amendment? Says the 15% cap. The 15% cap of minister. So the 15% cap of Council of Ministers. So now at present we have the 81 ministers, and now the present 15% cap, even if we take the 15% cap of this 850, it is going to nearly, so 120 to 130 ministers. That is little huge. So this is one of the important implications, the conflict with the 95th. It's not the conflict, but what we can say, like if it is, like there is a famous saying, like too many cooks spoil the broth. So that is one of the reasons why they brought the cap of 15% on the Council of Ministers. So now with the number of 850 seats, so the number of the number of ministers also going to increase, and also the number is also going to increase along with, so the power of Rajya Sabha. The power of Rajya Sabha is also going to decrease. So how? Now present, the Lok Sabha is going to be more powerful, and the Rajya Sabha with only 255 seats. So the Lok Sabha power will get more. And also the UP, the states like UP, now at present they have the 22% share, will increase to 25%. So this is very huge. So we can see the rapid change. So we can see the rapid change even when we are going to the bill passing and all. So these popular states especially will dominate the policy making. Will dominate the policy making. So popular states will dominate the policy making. That is one of the important thing which is associated with this. And also, and again one more issue was, so here one more issue, and we have too few sittings. So at present Lok Sabha is only functioning 70 days a year. We only have the 3 sittings, right? 70 days a year. But when you see the UK House of Commons, so it has around more than 150 days a year. So these are the important shortcomings or important impacts or implications of increasing the size of Lok Sabha 543 to 850, which is a 56% rise. So with this 850 figure, so it want to give 33% based on the 2011 census to the women, and women will get now 285 seats in the upcoming Lok Sabha. And the implications, the North state, UP and Bihar gets more, and the UP especially, they will get 25%, means which dominates the national politics more. Already it is dominating the national politics as of now, but it dominates the national politics more. And the policies, as the most of the MPs are from these states, the policy making also, the balance more tilted towards the northern states. That's why the southern states are not compromising. They were very much against this process. And the southern states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala, they lose more. And also the problem with the 15% of Council of Minister cap. So there is a cap of 15%, and now the number of ministers will also increase. And other than that, so we have only 70 days a year working in the Lok Sabha. So unlike the House of Commons of UK, which has the 650 MPs, so they have 150 days. And if the number is more, what will happen? If the 8 members are 850 MPs are there, so the coordination issues will come. The speaking time also will decrease. The amount of time which they use the due to the individual member might also decrease. And yeah, the Rajya Sabha, compared to the Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha will be too much powerful, because there is no increase in the Rajya Sabha seats. Yeah. And popular states, they dominate the policy making. So next, related to the same, so we'll see the placing women at the core of democracy. And these Nari Shakti Vandan Adhinyan, which gives 33% to women. When you are giving 33% to women, so it is a very good move. That is what everyone is encouraging. So it's at 33%. And nearly, as we discussed, 285 MPs, women MPs will be there from the next Lok Sabha if the present bill will pass. So when it was extended to the 545 to 850. So then how many MPs? How many women MPs? 285 women MPs will be there. And when this happen, what will happen? So women have some exclusive special knowledge in certain areas. Women definitely have some exclusive special knowledge in certain areas, where in the inorganized sector, so in inorganized labor, in the inorganized sectors, and also the agriculture. So SHGs, self-help groups. So like these areas, they have some unique knowledge. So they will bring those knowledge. And also not just that, so they have specific and special inputs as compared to man at, you see, health, nutrition, and also child care, safety, and also sanitation and hygiene. So they have very unique special knowledge, and they will definitely bring this knowledge to the policy making, so which is very good move, policy making. So at present, instead of getting a conventional standard democracy, it is going into a more deliberative democracy. In the deliberative democracy, what will happen, instead of the conventional methods, just a rules-based method, in the deliberative democracy, we have the more discussions, more diversity, and debate-based policy making. Very good. Debate-based policy making. So discussions, diversity, and debate-based policy making. So which is very good. And at the same time, debate-based policy making, and the next, and also these improvement in the women members should also break the shackles or break the shackles of so dynastic politics. Is it true? Yeah, the dynastic politics shackles will be broken. And also, so a male dominated party system will change. But at the same time, so these are the main challenges also. At present, the main challenges for these. Is like, these male dominated parties and dynastic politics and the change in the mindset. Also, if these reforms can be delayed, so delay in the implementation of reforms, So these are the important things. When the woman becomes the center of democracy, and when it related to the present upcoming major revolutionary changes into our Lok Sabha and also the state assemblies. So very important as we see. So placing women. So one thing is definitely sure. When the woman percentage is more, definitely they will look into these kind of issues. Definitely they will have the more importance towards health, nutrition, childcare, safety, sanitation, and hygiene. So they have very specific knowledge in these kind of era comparing to the men, that we have to agree. And so these knowledge of in these systems, which will definitely improve the policy making. And these kind of addition will brings the deliberative kind of democracy, where the discussions, debates, diversity will be more. And also the main challenges is because our politics is mostly intertwined with the dynastic politics, their sons and their sons. So the intertwined very much with the dynastic politics. Somewhat they should stay away from this kind of, somewhat the society will move towards a bit about this dynastic politics when the more women comes into the picture. Yeah, this is the important thing. And next important thing of this day was Amazon signs $11.57 billion deal for satellite firm Globestar. Globestar is also similar like Starlink. So Starlink, what they will do? They provide the D2D service, D2D. So what does it mean? Direct to device. So what is this D2D? Direct to device services. direct to device services. So D2D. So what will happen? They directly provide, instead of the signals, the satellite internet communication. So instead of relying on the nearby signal towers, your devices are get the internet directly from the satellites. So that is what the D2D, direct to device services, D2D services. So in these services, who is the pioneer now? Who holds the major share? That is Starlink. And the Starlink has nearly 10,000 satellites. 10,000 satellites they want to plan into the not geostationary orbits. So that is low Earth orbits. So just imagine Starlink want to place nearly 10,000 satellites. So 10,000 satellites into low Earth orbit. And even this Amazon also want to place nearly 3,200 satellites into the low Earth orbit. So it don't want to miss the bus like the Starlink. Now it is the really star in the satellite communications, satellite telecommunication technology, where they will provide the internet. Even you are in a deep jungle, you still get the 50 Mbps minimum internet you will get if you connected to the Starlink. So that's what Amazon don't want to miss the bus. So that's why they are making a deals, or they're purchasing the company which is already involved in this kind of business. And in the future, they want to make 3,200 satellites into the low Earth orbit. Even the Geo Space Web, even this Indian company, they also want to make the similar kind of satellite-based telecommunication, satellite-based communication, which they provide the D2D services, that is direct-to-device services. This is important. And next, Vaishali. So our Vaishali, so she won the candidates. So this candidates chess tournament is very important. This candidates chess tournament is very important. Why it is important? Candidates chess tournament, because there is the highest world chess championship. So now who is the world chess champion? Zhu Weijin. So she is the champion and she is from China. So in these candidates chess tournament, whoever win nearly, so the tournament will select 8 people, and that 8 people, they will conduct this candidates chess tournament. And these candidate chess tournament, who wins, they will pick one person who wins this tournament, and that one person will play with Zhu Weijin for the World Chess Championship, and she will be the defending champion. Okay, so and this one person is now the R Vaishali. So very, very important. So for the candidates chess tournament, directly it's linked to the World Chess Championship. So to play in the World Chess Championship, you have to win the candidates chess tournament. That is what Vaishali has done. At now, she is the only Indian woman who won this candidates chess tournament. Okay. So next, new brain-inspired memristas. So you see, these memristas, maybe you may heard, this is the first time you are listening to this word, memristas. So memristas are nothing but it's the combination of memory and resistors. So at present, so our brain is very unique and very beautiful when it's storing the memory. At the same time, it is processing the memory. So which is not there at present. For example, if you take the AI computer, any computer, so which it stores data. For example, if you take the data stores at cloud. At the same time, it stores at cloud and it processes using the resistor or transistor. So it processes using the processors like computer. So now they want to combine these both. So they want to combine this cloud data saving at the same time the computing ability. So they want to combine these both with the parallel with the human brain. So how we just not store the information, we know, right? We just store the information, and also we process the information at very speed and also at very fraction of electricity. So brain uses only 20 watts of electricity. At the same time, these computers and all which transfers the data from cloud services to the computer, almost it consumes nearly megawatts, 1,000 times of power. So thousands times of power. So the scientists in the Cambridge, the Cambridge scientists, they are developing this memory store device. So they want to make a device which works similar to our brain. So you can see how far these technological inventions are going on. So the memory store similar to brain. So what? They are mixing the neurons. So in our brain, the neurons plus synapses. So these both combines, and they want to mimic the same, the neurons plus synapses. This is how our brain works. And similarly, to mimic the same thing, the neurons and synapses, they want to make the neuroprocessing computing they want to bring, and which will revolutionize, because now the computer is different, saving data in the cloud system. When you combine these both, so the fraction of cost saving will seriously comes down, because at the same time it processes the information and also it stores the information. So this is what's happening in our brain. So to mimic our brain, they brought this memory plus resistor. So at the fraction of cost, and the electricity cost will be decreased, so that carbon footprint will be decreased. Carbon footprint also will decrease. Carbon footprint, fraction of cost, and also environmentally it's very good and very high speed. So in the future computers, mostly they will run with the memristor types of chips. That is what we can expect. And next, so the Strait of Hormuz, critical to the global energy flows. Maybe many of you know already why the Strait of Hormuz is very important, because the Strait of Hormuz, so what is the volume of trade it continues? It does nearly 1/5 of the global oil supply. So 1/5 of the global oil supply, mainly through which countries? India, China, Japan, Korea. So these are the just 4 countries which can take the share of 80% of the volume. Along with the Strait of Hormuz, there are other important choke points, where choke points are nothing but a very narrow stretch where the vessels has to follow with some direction, and which also very highly dense region. That is the very important of the choke points. And similar to Strait of Hormuz, there are 3 other important choke points, that is Panama Canal and Bab al-Mandab Strait and Strait of Malacca, along with the Suez Canal. So here, so when we see these 4, Strait of Hormuz, which holds nearly 1/5 of the global supply. If Strait of Hormuz sneezes, oil prices will catch cold. That is what the important slogan which is there in the world, which means if there is any problem with the Strait of Hormuz, the global oil prices will shoot up. So that is what the Strait of Hormuz also, which holds 10 to 12% of global trade. And also every day, so at least 50 to 60 ships which will pass through this strait, and per year nearly 22 to 26,000 ships. 26,000 ships which pass through this Strait of Hormuz. So you can see 10 to 12% of the global trade, very important, and 50 to 60 ships per day, and 22 to 26,000 per year. So very, very important. And next important strait was Strait of Malacca. So Malacca Strait, very important, which holds almost 30 to 40% of global trade. 30 to 40% of global trade. Very, very important strait, and the most important strait in the whole world, especially to the China. That is where our Andaman and Nicobar Islands was located. So near the entrance point of the Malacca Straits. So if there is any conflict with the China tomorrow, and definitely we hold the neck of this Malacca Strait, so that it will make the movement of trade very difficult for China. And next, 30 to 40% of the global trade, along with nearly 1 lakh ships. 1 lakh, nearly 100,000 ships per year. This is the traffic, and every day nearly 250 to 270 ships will go from this Malacca Strait. And along with Strait of Malacca and Strait of Panama Canal and Bab al-Mandab Strait. Sorry, Panama Canal, if you take the Panama Canal, which is very simple, means comparing to the important 4 canals, this is the very less, but also very important. It carries the 5 to 6% of global trade. And the traffic was nearly 13 to 14,000 ships. 13 to 14,000 ships and 35 to 40 ships per day. And next important is Suez Canal. Suez Canal and also Bab al-Mandab Strait. Bab al-Mandab. So this holds nearly 8 to 10% of global trade. Nearly 8 to 10% of global trade. So which seriously connects with Europe to Asia. And here they hold nearly, so the traffic was around 24 to 26,000 ships and around 60 to 70 ships. So they can per day traffic. So you can see very, very important. So Strait of Hormuz, Suez Canal, Panama Canal, and Strait of Malacca. And among this is the star, Strait of Malacca, which holds the global trade of 30 to 40%, nearly 100,000 ships, and per day 250 to 270 ships is a traffic. So this is the discussion of today. So these are the important locations. Like this is where the Malacca Strait was located, and Bab al-Mandab Strait, Suez Canal, and Strait of Hormuz. Here we can see the Panama Canal. So these are the important points, and this is the number 1, the Strait of Malacca. Very, very important. So, okay. So thank you for being with us, and we'll meet you tomorrow.